going to be talking about. We would love to do your shout outs. Paul's actually going to sit next to me and join me today and be able to read all of your Q&A. Let us know if you can hear us well. We are basically using just a tripod today and no microphone so that you can hear both Paul and I. So Paul's adjusting just the screen there to make sure we're all centered and good to go. And so if we have any issues, please let us know. Paul will have his phone in front of him. We'll be able to see your chat, the live chat that's happening there, and we're going to go ahead and field your questions. A big thank you to those of you who regularly support me and comment on the channel. We are doing good with all gaining new subscribers and letting people know what's going on in the reselling world. So if you loved my thumbnail, I put a very happy kind of summertime thumbnail because it is white as snow outside and I just wanted to see some green grass. So if you like our thumbnail, that was from vacation last year when we went to Gatlinburg, and so hopefully you enjoyed that. We went on an 11-mile bike ride, I think, that day, so that was super fun. So Paul will be joining us and fielding all your questions. Give us a shout out from where you're from and let us know. We do have a fire sale planned for tomorrow, so hopefully we will see you at noon Central Standard Time right here on this channel on Friday so that you can buy from our fire sale. So we've got lots of fun things going on. And we'll be able to, show you all the good things. And if you're one of my patrons, make sure that you check out that sneak peek. Lately, I've been getting it up a little bit late just simply because life has been happening. Those of you who have sent me emails in the last 2 days, don't worry, I'll be fielding them today. We basically took yesterday off as a snow day because our kids were home, and we literally went sledding.
We did.
Yes, we did. So Paul's joined us now. And
hello, everybody.
He's going to give us some shout-outs from the chats.
Got a full questions here. That's not the right one.
Yeah, live chat right there.
There it is.
Yeah. So if you have a shout-out, go ahead. He's going to read them for us. And let us know if you can hear us good.
Okay, Jackpot Liquidation says, good morning, everyone.
Awesome.
Stephen Nicholas says, howdy from Alabama. Tina Welsh, hello from Monroe, Georgia. Ashley says, good morning. The family is here, kids and mom.
Awesome.
Sunshine, Badges, and More says, hello, all. Let's see. Steely Giggles?
Steely Giggles.
Is that how you say it? I'm not sure. Steely Giggles says, hello from Virginia and Pennsylvania. Rocky Mountain Value says, good morning from snowy, cold Colorado. Kathy Williamson says, hi from frozen Minnesota. I guess pretty much the entire Midwest and part of the mountain range is completely
frozen.
And
the South.
Snow.
Texas is frozen, which is pretty wild.
That is true.
Pray for the people in Texas and their power outages and stuff. We've got quite a few people that live around here that they have family members that live in Texas. So
I'm sorry if it gets grainy at any time. I think it'll kind of go in and out probably a little bit. William Menges says, good morning from northern Indiana. Sunshine Badges and More says, we had an ice day on Tuesday. Laugh aloud, it was wonderful.
So, Sunshine Badges and More lives in Canada. They don't have snow days. They have ice days.
Ice days.
Because they're used to snow. Yeah. I lived in Michigan, so I know used to snow.
Joanne Johnson says, good morning from LaGrange, Georgia. Louisa Silva. I think they're from Portugal. So welcome,
awesome.
Welcome, Portugal person. Ann Patterson says, hello, Ann in the UK. Steely Giggles says, you got it right. I love that name, Steely Giggles.
Steely Giggles.
There's a story there.
It just makes you smile when you say it.
Jackpot Liquidation says, I try so hard to make it to these lives, but Lordy, my customers don't always cooperate. Laugh out loud. This is true. Jana Hook says, hi from Mama Hooks. Hello, Mom. Let's see, Thomas Shepard says, good morning, guys. Love ya. Maurice Wall says, hey, guys, do you know if any liquidation companies in America ship to Ireland? Hello from Ireland. Love your videos.
Via Trading does international shipping. That's the first one I know right off the bat.
We know 100% for certain that they do.
I think maybe Smartlots does, but I'm not for sure.
Don't know a ton about Smartlots on that one.
Yeah.
888 Lots has sister companies in Europe.
Yes, so check out the links under any of my 888 Lots videos. I have the sister companies listed.
Ashley says, we have had 2 weeks of snow days
That sounds glorious.
Rodrigo Gutierrez says, Buenos dias from California. Sunshine Badges and More says, well, there was a bit of snow which got covered by freezing precipitation for about 10 hours. Then it rained and washed it all away. Jackpot Liquidation says, hi, Mama Hooks. How are you, lovely lady? Sunshine Badges and More says, Jackpot Liquidation, I feel your pain, although usually it is my students. Yes, she's a teacher.
Yep.
Stephen Nicholas says, was 18 degrees in South Alabama Tuesday morning. Laugh out loud.
Wow, that's cold for Alabama.
I'd imagine it would be pretty cold, yeah. Okay, well, our main topic is what?
Basically how to order from wholesalers. And the reason why we wanted to have Paul on here is because he does the majority of our ordering. Yes, I know you think that I do all the work because I'm in front of the camera, but he does lots of behind the scenes stuff. And he has a better grasp on, he's the one that kind of started shifting us into buying wholesale. I mean, we had done a little bit the first time we went to ASD Market Week.
Right.
We're planning on going to the Orlando ASD Roadshow. That's the plan as of right now. And so if you are anywhere near the Florida area, then we might be able to see you there in the ASD Roadshow location. Yep. That's going to be April 7th, I think.
I can't quite remember.
I can't remember anyway. It's on the ASD Market Week website if you want to look at that.
ASD Market Week is... I don't know, how do you explain it?
Okay, so the first time we went, we didn't really know what we were getting into. It's normally based at the Las Vegas Convention Center. So we flew out there, went out there. It's absolutely massive. And they have a whole floor of people with liquidators, people like bulk.com, via trading, 888 lots, all that kind of stuff. And then they have a whole nother section of wholesalers of just about anything you can think of. The Scrub Daddy was there, jewelry makers, handbag makers, fashion people, clothing designers, all that stuff. And basically it's just, we have a product, we want to put it out to you. They're the manufacturers of the product or distributors of the product, but they don't want to sell it one piece at a time.
Right.
They want to sell it wholesale. And so they basically make brand new product, and they're looking for people like us to sell it for them. And so a wholesaler basically provides brand new product in varying degrees of price range.
Sure.
So you can buy the dollar store items, and then you can also buy the, $400 genuine leather, whatchamacallit.
Sure.
So that's basically ASD Market Week. We went through probably a third of the vendors there the time that we were there and walked, I don't know, like 20,000 steps a day.
Like about every 4 feet, there's a new vendor or a new person trying to sell his product.
Thousands and thousands of vendors. So this year, because of COVID, they're not doing the vendors like that. They're doing a road show in various different locations. They got 3 different locations they're going to. One is Florida.
Yep.
One is
let's see. I think Arizona, Texas, and Florida, I think.
Yes. So they're doing those 3 locations. So there should be one near you. It's free to go. But you do have to sign up. You have to register ahead of time.
So if you're hopping on here hoping to learn a little bit more about buying from wholesale, our first experience, this is just our experiences on wholesale, and I'm going to give you a couple of sites to go to also so that you can investigate your own wholesale thing. Mm-hmm. Our first experience was at ASD Market Week in Las Vegas. We found a wholesaler. I am 100% certain it was a Chinese company because it was in the Chinese section of the ASD Market Week. And they were selling lots of little bracelets, little rings, little really, really inexpensive things. So we were buying a ring for 12 cents, but you couldn't buy one. You had to buy like 50 to 100. Right? And we encountered a couple of different things. That was our first wholesaler to really start to understand how this system works. If you like something, you were going to buy 50 to 100 of it. Okay.
The other thing, too, is because we just talked to this first wholesaler, we started to learn the strategic questions to ask.
Yes.
When we were there. Because we found some great wholesalers out of California, but it was going to be really expensive to ship to us.
Really, when it came to the California wholesalers that we found there, as soon as they found out where our location was, they kind of wanted to
step
back from us so that they could talk to someone else that was closer to California, because the shipping cost would start to eat into that profit of wholesaling. So we learned that there were a couple things they wanted. One, many wholesalers want a resale license or a resale certificate. You want to tell them what that is?
Yeah, so a resale certificate is fairly easy to get, at least it was for me. Now, it's specific for each state. So it could be called a reseller's license, a resale certificate, or a tax exempt number. And it's different from the charitable tax exempt number. All you have to do is call your state and ask basically what steps you need to go through. Some charge to get it, like $25-$30 to file the paperwork. Ours was actually free to be able to apply for it. Basically what it does is it gives you the opportunity to buy from some of these companies that the average person just walking off the street can't do. By having a reseller certificate, you basically say, I'm serious about this. I'm actually going to resell the item. Now, what usually comes with that resale certificate is generally you have to start paying state taxes on what you do sell. And the states are all different. I am not a tax professional. So you're going to have to basically communicate to that person, hey, now that I have a resale certificate, what are the steps that I need to do to file my taxes? The first time I got a resale certificate, I never used it. Therefore, I never did anything with it. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize that I was supposed to be filing quarterly taxes just because I had it. Even if I never sold a single thing, I could file the form saying 0. And so just be aware of that, because I basically found out I was doing it wrong when 2 people showed up at my door and they're like, we're from the Illinois IRS. And I was like, just be aware of that. And they're like, have you ever used it? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, well, we'll just discontinue the number. And then it was like 2 years later that I actually...
Then we knew what we were doing.
Knew what I was doing.
Here's questions that go along with that reseller.
Sure.
Ashley is asking, she asked about 3 questions. She says she's in Illinois. She says, who did you call to get your reseller license, and what are the numbers on the tax forms you filed to get your reseller's license number?
Okay, so that's a little bit intricate, but you just call Springfield, the state office in Springfield, and just simply ask them, I'm looking to file my reseller, I'm looking to get a reseller certificate. That's all you got to do. And then they'll walk your process. And the first time I had to file, because I used to do quarterly taxes, it's now jumped to annual taxes, so I only have to do it once a year now. Right. But all last year I had to do quarterly, and I pretty much just called the guy the first time, and I said, okay, I've got it up on my screen. How do I put in the numbers? And he was like, well, let's just use pretend numbers. Just don't hit submit. And he literally walked me through it. And as he did it, I feverishly wrote notes. And then I basically have this step-by-step piece of paper, because you only do it every quarter or every year. So I'm going to forget how to do it, and I don't have to call him every time.
You said you called the home office in Springfield.
Yes.
Do you mean the Department of Revenue?
Department of Revenue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Deborah, we mean the Department of Revenue. So... okay, very good. Hopefully that helps, and if you have any other questions, feel free.
Yeah.
Honestly, I remember Heather, I wasn't here when she did that, but I remember her telling me they were so nice. You hear about the IRS is scary. Well, the people that walked her through it were very kind, and plus, they want the money.
You're paying
kind of
them,
like,
yeah, you're paying them money, so they're going to make sure you know how to do it right.
Let's see, Tina asks, let's see, hold on. Lana says, are you selling today?
For the fire sale, that's tomorrow.
Yeah, fire sale's tomorrow.
Yep, we're just doing a Q&A today, which is normally our mode of operation on Thursdays.
Yep.
But our fire sale will be tomorrow at noon Central Standard Time, and we got some good stuff this time.
Tina Welsh says, do you also pay sales tax and federal and state tax on the money you make from yard sales once you get your reseller certificate?
Yard sales.
Yard sales. I believe that I think anybody that does a yard sale, there's actually, when you're going through your taxes, if I'm remembering them right, there's a spot that you can clarify that you did make X amount of dollars. I'll be honest, I don't think the majority of Americans include that, but I think you're technically supposed to.
You're legally, I think, supposed to. But like we said, we're not tax professionals.
Right. Yeah. talk to a tax guy, and they can walk you through that step there too. But let's see, we do pay quarterly. Well, we were paying quarterly taxes.
Now we pay annual taxes as of 2021. Yeah. If you'd like to donate, also, if you like the content of this video, feel free to go ahead and hit that super chat and donate.
Yep. Help us pay our taxes.
Let's see,
Jackpot Liquidation says, Ashley, they were great when we called our state. I literally Googled my state reseller certificate office, Department of Revenue, and found the information. It was awesome. They did it very quickly. Yeah, I know a lot of people get really afraid of that, but it was much easier. They were very kind to Heather.
It's much less painful than you think, and they're very patient with you because I was writing notes, and so like for me, after I got off the phone, I literally typed it up on a document, saved it to my computer, and then printed it and put it in a file folder so that I literally had my version of the step-by-step process. Like they explain it to you. But it may not make sense the next time you look at that paperwork. And so I needed to literally break it down so that a 4-year-old could probably follow these directions. A 4-year-old that could read.
Tommy Sharp says, how do I get someone to guide me through the process?
Well, I would definitely call. So as far as the state taxes part, you're going to have to call your state IRS.
Every state's a little different.
It is a little different. And so, like, as far as wholesaling and stuff like that, we do offer consultation calls where we can walk you through buying wholesale things. So that's different. But as far as the taxes part and the reseller's license, yes. You have to call your specific state.
Jackpot said the lady sent her an e-book in the email with step-by-step instructions on how to do it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, Jackpot, what state you're in. We didn't get that, but
the guy on the phone was
very,
amazing.
very good,
yeah.
So.
Yep.
Okay, so when you go to a wholesaler, we learned that most wholesalers want a resale license. I'm going to give you here in just a little bit a company that does not require a resale license so that you can see how you would like to go through it there. But most wholesalers ask for a reseller license. What that also does for you is you don't pay sales tax on the purchase from the wholesaler, but on the back end you will pay taxes.
You pay sales tax on what you sell.
Correct. All right. Second thing is wholesalers ask for a minimum purchase order. So
and this is something we learned at ASD Market Week.
We learned that, and then even the site that I'll send you to, or if you have questions about it, frankly, any wholesaler I've ever dealt with asks for a minimum purchase order. So if I say, ooh, I like this can, and I want to buy 5 of them. First off, they might sell them, sorry, we only sell them in cases of 50. All right, so I'm like, oh, okay. And then they say, but we only want to sell it to you if you'll buy 1,000 cans, okay? And the way they normally do that is they'll say, we have a $500 minimum purchase order or a $1,000 minimum purchase order. And the highest ones that I saw when I was at ASD Market Week was a $3,000 minimum purchase order. Now, that's pretty high, and that's more like you have your own brick and mortar store, and you're like, I want all of this stuff, to stock my shelves. We're not at that level, but
you might be.
Anyway, you might be.
The other thing too, when it comes to minimum purchase orders, is sometimes it doesn't mean just that one item. You don't have to spend all $1,000. Like if the minimum purchase order was $1,000, you don't have to buy all $1,000 of that item. It might be you have to spend $1,000 on their site.
Correct.
So you can distribute it amongst maybe 7 or 8 different products and hit your $1,000 and then get it shipped to you. So some people require it per item, and some people require it just across the board for their website.
Right. The site, I'll just give it to you now. The site that I've been using recently is Tundra, just like the frozen tundra, Tundra. Now, if you Google in your Google search wholesalers, I Googled wholesalers in the USA, Tundra popped up. And the reason I wanted USA was because of the shipping issues. I didn't want to buy something from like Alibaba.com that was going to take me 28 days to get my product. And I have found 2 things that have been really good with that. A, they most of them do not require a reseller certificate. So if you don't have one, but you've got an eBay store or a Poshmark store, you can still purchase from them. And then the second, big thing is their minimum purchase orders are pretty low. The highest I've seen is $250, which when you start looking, if you find 4 or 5 different products that you really want to sell, you're pretty close to hitting that 250. And then I've even seen some go all the way down to, hey, $25 minimum purchase order. Well, that's pretty easy to do. Now, a couple of things with that site. I don't think, if you will, that Tundra is the primo wholesale site. I think that their prices are probably a little bit higher because ultimately what Tundra is it's a group of lots of wholesalers.
Well, and we've discovered a couple of different things in ordering from them. So it's a little bit of roll the dice, figure out your seller and buyer and the company. Because like one product we bought a bunch of these and they were in various different colors, and we got them and they didn't look anything like the picture online. Like they were completely different. And so I mean it was the same type of product, but the style was totally different. And so when we had to reorder, we were nervous. Are we going to get the picture, which is different from what we already have listed on our store, which means we got to make a whole new listing on our store? Or are we going to get what we got before? And that was the thing. And even when we reordered the second time, which was literally only 3 weeks later, because we started selling out of this product fast, 3 weeks later we reordered and they were out of one of the colors. Like we've got 4 colors of this particular item on our store and they already ran out of one. And so I think that's also that particular vendor. They had a limited supply, and are we ordering maybe overstock and they're never going to carry this item again? So you do run the risk of really hitting on a good item that's really popular, and then you go to reorder and suddenly we can't find it again.
Right.
And so and you just kind of have to find your way through the weeds. And so we generally order smaller amounts the first go round, just to see how is it going to work in reselling on our platforms. Like, is it going to move real fast on eBay? Is it going to move real fast? We did order some things that we actually did legitimately, I think, send to Amazon.
A
few. Not as many.
Not as many.
But like Facebook Marketplace, you can move some of these products, things like that. And if they're popular, when you go to reorder them, are they there? Are they not there? Are they going to be the same style? All that kind of stuff. And so that's one of the cautionary tales, I would say. Yeah. But I would say that was one product out of probably 15 we ordered.
From that company.
Yeah.
I would say Heather brought up something that I want to make it very clear. If you buy from a wholesaler something that you plan to put on Amazon, be very careful. Remember, what that wholesaler wants to do is sell their product to as many people as possible. So let's say you find that great Coke can and you go, hey man, I've got a great deal, and your margins are you'll make $5 every time you sell this, and you purchase it for 50 cents. You're thinking, I've got the gold mine, Well, they'll sell their Coke cans to everybody, and the price could drop drastically on you.
They'll sell to me, they'll sell to you, they'll sell to Sunshine, they'll sell to Jackpot, they'll sell to all of them, and then suddenly now the bottom falls out of the price.
That's why Heather's trying to get into exclusive rights to sell that product on Amazon. That's where you probably hit more of the gold mine when it's all said and done. But just be wary of that. But if you're looking for a new product for store, for eBay, for maybe you have your own website like we do,
brick and mortar,
flea market even.
Oh yeah.
I knew several guys that flea market sold knives and swords and armor helmets and stuff. I know where they're buying them now. I know the wholesaler that they're buying them from, and their markup is phenomenal. Because think about it, you don't walk into Walmart and can buy a sword. I mean, it's just or a army helmet. You just don't do that. But here are these wholesalers you can buy from. Here, let's try to answer some questions. Let's see here. Ashley says, is the Department of Revenue where you pay the taxes and also get your reseller license?
Yes. Yeah. You basically, they'll tell you what form to submit and how to fill it out. And then I submit the form online and then mail in my payment, but you can also do an auto payment a lot of places.
Yep. Jackpot Liquidation says, I did that with silver earrings. Sounds like she bought a whole bunch. And let me tell you, that was the craziest purchase, and it took me 3 years to sell them all. I won't do that again. Laugh out loud. Yeah, but Jackpot, I would, like we do all the time, you kind of learn from that to go, okay, I'm never buying 1,000 silver earrings ever again, right? But find that wholesaler where you can buy 30 of this silver earring, 30 of these gold earrings, 30 of these bronze earrings, 30 of, you know.
So you don't have so much stock in the same thing.
Correct. Or go earrings, bracelet, necklace, try to find some other things. And that's what I've discovered with Tundra, and they're not sponsoring us or anything like that. Another one that you can look at that is similar, I've had...
You're in top chat, not live chat.
Okay, you want to switch it?
Go ahead.
The other one that I have discovered that has been pretty good is Abound, ABOUND.com, I think it is. And honestly, I was searching for USA wholesalers, and then, how you hop on, you search for something, and then you hop on Facebook, and boom, these things pop right up as like Facebook ads. Mm-hmm. Now, I have liked Tundra more than I have liked Abound, but Abound has like 75 different wholesalers. Tundra has like 150 different wholesalers. And so then you can start scanning through product and you go, ooh, I like this. And then I go to that individual store. If the store's name is... So if you didn't hear that, if I find the store's name is Lucky, I go to Lucky and I look through all the different things they're selling because I have to hit that minimum purchase order. And so if they're saying, hey, we have a $150 minimum purchase order, you might like that one product that brought you to their site, but I don't want 100 of them. I want to try a sample of 20 of them. Okay, something of that nature. So that might help you, Jackpot, instead of buying so many of one particular...
It also helps, too, if you don't have the space to store that kind of stuff, because obviously when you're in the reselling business, your space is a big deal. I mean, we built this building and we still don't have enough space. You can always use more space, and you're always going to just continue to fill it. So, yeah. All right.
Let's see. Next question down. They said, from Sharon, she says, Heather, how do you ship a man's suit jacket?
I just put it in a box and fold it very nicely. Usually put it in some sort of a poly bag to make sure that inclement weather, if it gets left out in the rain, it isn't destroyed. But I have these long boxes that are about 18 inches long and about 6 inches high. 18 by 12 by 6, and I get them from my shipping guy. If you're interested in the boxes that I use, if you've ever ordered from me, they're really nice double-walled boxes, but they're from the St. Louis Paper Company, and he hand delivers them to me, but I usually will get them. You can also get them shipped. He normally does shipping of this kind of supply product, and so check into that. The link is down in the description below. St. Louis Paper Company, Matt Ulrich is my guy. He's a local guy, super friendly, like his wife teaches at the local school, so definitely a guy you want to work with.
All right, let's see. Jackpot Liquidation says, that's wonderful, especially for testing out what will work for your business model. Yes, buying in smaller amounts, if you can find those smaller minimum purchase orders.
Well, and the thing too, like if you find a niche that really just blows up for you, like maybe you didn't intend on selling, fuzzy socks, for instance, but you find out for some reason everybody is in love with fuzzy socks on eBay, maybe then you could go out to some of those other companies later that require a higher minimum purchase order, and you can buy from them later, but you can kind of get your feet wet in that niche or that area to understand it with 20 or 30 pairs of fuzzy socks rather than 5,000 pairs of fuzzy socks. So it's a good way to kind of jump into the market and then really find out, okay, I really like shipping these, I really like selling these, I really like the margins on these. So now we can go and order, maybe from Alibaba and get, a whole freight container full of them or something.
We haven't had a whole great luck, if you will, selling from Alibaba, but I know of people that have.
Yep.
Let's see, Jackpot Liquidation says, Sharon, I actually fold the jacket around a piece of stiff cardboard and then polybag and vacuum seal it and then slide it in a large polymail bag, yeah. Jackpot says, that's awesome, Heather. You can do it. You two are brilliant. You keep me motivated and headed in the right direction.
Thanks.
Cool. Let's see. Sharon says, thank you, Jackpot Liquidations. Adam Haas says, hey, Pastor Paul and Heather from 1.1 miles away. I've got really nothing to do on the snowy day, so I figured I would come on and watch. Thanks for letting our family come over and sled yesterday. We had a huge sled day.
We had a sledding party at our house.
Adam, great to have you on, man.
Yep.
Great to have you on. And no, Adam, you can't date my daughter. Moving on. Jackpot Liquidation says, you two are brilliant. Geesh, my fingers went too fast for my brain. Eric Cleveland says, hi, Adam. Let's see. I'm not sure exactly how to say this. Well, something Beg says, any recommendations for UK wholesalers, please?
Okay, so the one thing I would say is, I know Via Trading does international wholesaling, but that might be a little bit expensive for you to ship from the United States.
More liquidation is what they do.
They do liquidation. As far as wholesalers, I don't know. The only people that I have internationally is 888 Lots. I have 2 sister companies, but I have not investigated liquidators, wholesale liquidators in other countries.
Honestly, we haven't had to because
we live in
we
the
don't
US.
sell in the UK.
So Google search just like we did. Wholesalers in the UK. And I bet you're going to come up with something similar to Tundra. The other thing I would suggest too is go ahead and leave it after this video processes and closes out. Leave it in the regular comment section because the live chat doesn't pop up in the regular comment section. And I bet you'll get some people that answer your question.
Right.
So
okay, here's another, if you will, more covert way of doing it.
Covert,
if you will.
I'm intrigued.
Wherever you're at, these stores have to come up with product, right? They're not buying stuff just local. It's impossible to do to fill a store. So become friends with the department manager. Become friends with the people that, the manager of that little mom and pop store, and just straight ask them, hey, where do you get all your stuff? You know, and they might say, oh, well, I get it from, Tundra, or I get it from this wholesaler, or I get it from this person. Some of them might just go, oh, we have a home office at,
You can Google search your tags
the mom and pop stores, they usually have to find their own wholesaler stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Don't like try to destroy their business. Open up a shop right across the street or something like that.
With the same product. Don't do that.
But at the same time, they're buying probably larger quantities than you can, but you can then start finding out where are they getting it from in our area.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Jackpot says laugh out loud. Music. Adam says, hey, Eric. Jackpot says,
when the phone was ringing, music.
Jackpot said, I sold 5 baby washing machines yesterday, which was lunacy. It's awesome. Deborah says, so Heather, you are possibly going from resale to wholesale.
I will always stay in resale because this is the difference. Okay, so you've got wholesale where you buy one product and then you maybe make $2 or $3 every time that product sells, but you can buy that product over and over and over and over again, and it's brand new. Awesome, but I'm only making $2 or $3, and that's a lot of work. Every time I have to ship it, that's time. Every time I have to make a new listing, that's time. Every time I have to reorder that product, that's time. Reselling and liquidation is you find that guitar. Remember the guitar we found? $500. We made $500 on that guitar and spent $3 on it.
Right.
And so I think I'll never go away from liquidation just because we get the fun treasure hunt aspect of it. And we do make more money on liquidation. Now, it is work, but we just get more bang for our buck as far as per product. We make more money per product. But the bummer about that is it's not a replenishable. And so if you can kind of do both, then you can bring in the bread and butter every single day. So like your replenishables are going to help you in those months where, man, liquidation is just rough this month. But I made the $2 and $3 all month long on these, 10 products over and over and over again. I didn't make a lot, but I made something. And then your liquidation kind of helps subsidize that with the extra big bucks that you then you have some more money in your pocket and actually can do something with the money. So I don't know that I'll ever go away from liquidation, but wholesaling is nice for the smaller dollar amounts over and over and over again. You know, if you can find a good distributor.
If you think about things like the store Dollar General, where is Dollar General getting all of their stuff? Dollar General is like, there's a Dollar General in every corner in America, right? At least where we're at, they are.
Yeah.
You know, and our small little towns, they'll all have a little Dollar General, right? And so, where are they getting all the stuff on the shelves? They're buying from wholesalers. It's just Dollar General as a whole has the buying power where they'll say they will negotiate the price down to that they're almost for sure to make money. Same thing with Walmart. You know, I worked for Walmart through my first year of college and then in high school. And I remember still scanning items that were on the clearance aisle for like 55 cents or something like that. You know, something very, very small. Thing of pencils. I still remember that day. I scanned those pencils and it would tell me on my little Telzon or that little scanner that you see at Walmart what was the markup. Even on the clearance aisle, the markup was over 1,000%. Which means, how much did they pay for those pencils?
Like 0.0000.
I'm like, they had no money in those pencils because they bought so many. Now, our issue is, we're not Walmart. We're not Dollar General. We don't have the buying power. And that was another interesting thing when we went to ASD Market Week. When we were walking around, we had a little lanyard on that said, we're a buyer. But then you would see other people, we'd say a buyer and then our company name. You would see other people walking around that had buyer, and then it would be Dollar General.
Or Walmart.
Or Walmart.
Or Costco.
Or And you knew, we're not the same. So if you saw Walmart show up at your booth, you were going to, be kind to us and say, I need to talk to this person over here. Because, they make millionaires, to buy their product. And I make hundredaires. That's what we do. All right, anyway. Let's see here. Tina Welsh says, I found a liquidation company here locally, and they have an online auction tomorrow on pallets. So I'm going to sit in only to see how it works. I think that's great, Tina. Another thing that I would look at is what is their shipping policy? So if they're local, do you have the ability to pick up? All right, and I bet you that they would love you to do that. Then do you have the ability to pick up a pallet? It's just one of those it could be a hidden cost that you really have to think through. Because routinely, I'll find pallets that are $326 to buy this pallet of stuff, but the shipping is almost as much as it is for the product in the pallet. So that's a big deal. If you're local, but let's say you're 30 miles away, and you say, no, I don't have the ability to pick up, I'll need them to ship it to me, then you need to talk with those that are there and just go, what is your shipping policy? And if they have a good website, they'll even explain it to you. But that's just something, on auctions, every once in a while people forget that, because their shipping price will be a fixed amount. But then they'll start the bidding at 100. Well, you say, oh, I want it for $100. Well, it's 100 plus the shipping. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay. Anyway, Eric Cleveland said hilarious. Jackpot said, Tina, it's addicting.
Oh yeah, when it comes to auctions too, rule of thumb: have a set price that you have in your mind and don't go over it. All right, it's your money. You tell it where to go. I feel like Dave Ramsey right now. Yeah. Tell your money where to go.
Right. But don't listen to her. She breaks that all the time.
I do break that all the time. But for
Heather
the most part,
has to win the auction. I thought I would be the problem. No, she's going to win that thing. She's going to win it.
But I'm not going to go crazy winning it.
Not completely crazy. Okay. Let's see. Beg says, thank you, guys. Love your answer. Jackpot Liquidation says,
you know what? When I in-person negotiate, I don't budge.
She'll kill you.
Don't
rip your throat out.
Listen, don't in-person negotiate with me.
She cares about Jesus and only Jesus in that moment. All right, moving on. Jackpot Liquidation says, when you win your first pallet, you're nervous and excited and you feel like a rock star. Yeah, you do. Ashley says, where are you from, Tina? William says, do you do any auctions or retail arbitrage to source anymore? We haven't in a while, to be honest with you. I guess kind of COVID kind of shut that down for us for a little bit.
I hate wearing a mask, so that's why I don't retail arbitrage.
Yeah.
But I've never been a huge fan of retail arbitrage. That's his game. He loves to go out and hunt.
No, retail arbitrage you love. That's going to the store.
Thrifting.
I thrift. She retail arbitrages.
Now I
so
just do
retail arbitrage isn't considered thrifting.
Really?
It is. Come on. Know your terms. Moving on. I used to love going to auctions. The time investment, though, if you've been to an auction, you find something in a box, and the auctioneer is going to get to it, but as he's going through the wagon or the table that he's selling the items on, it's going to be 20 minutes before he gets there. So you wait around for 20 minutes, and it's worth, $50. And he starts the bid, and you're like, great, and you've got it at 20, and then all of a sudden somebody brings it all the way up to $75. I mean, and you're like, I wasted 20 minutes of my life waiting for that box to sell.
I've been at auctions where I've spent 4 or 5 hours and walked away with nothing or one thing or, so.
And so that started happening to us more and more. Also, the retail arbitrage side of things, we were every Monday we had a series, Walmart, Target, this store, this store, this store.
We went to like 8 stores every Monday.
And one Monday we would do phenomenal. And then the next Monday we go right back, and guess what? It's all the same stuff we've seen, or it's just we don't find the deal. And you're like, that's a whole day gone.
We started running 2 different circuits to do 2 different towns.
Right,
that seemed to help a little bit. But it's just no comparison when it comes to time investment when you can just get a pallet delivered to your location.
Right.
Or a case.
That old adage that time is money is something to consider.
Super true.
I'm not saying you can't make money at auctions. Plenty of people do.
That's how we started.
Yep. And the retail arbitrage is a great idea also. It's just, can you consistently build, if you will, a business off of that? And I think it's difficult to do so. More difficult than we were doing it. Tina Wells says, I live in Monroe, Georgia. Ashley, which is about an hour outside of Atlanta. Jackpot Liquidation says, Paul, I actually sent you guys an email on Hooked on Pickin and sent someone to you, which he said he contacted you about Hallmark. Did you guys get those emails?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Tina says, yes, they allow you to pick that weekend after the auction. That's good. Let's see here. Jack. William says, never bid on emotion. This is true, my friend. Don't bid on emotion.
Yep.
Let's see. Thrifting By says, I don't like the liquidation wholesalers that don't show the picture, or they say pictures only represent a sample, but are not the items you will receive. What do you think about these liquidators?
I think you need to try them if you're interested in buying from them. Yeah, definitely they feel a bit sketchy, but we have hit on some really, really good deals on people like that because nobody else is willing to kind of pull the trigger on that. But you have to kind of count it as, this is a gamble. We'll see how it turns out. And you have to be okay with basically losing your money on that particular item because you may get it and it's completely trash, or it's an item that looks like it was advertised to be this big and you get it and it's this big and there's no way that you can even make any kind of money based on what you spent on it. But we have hit on some that are fantastic. We will order from them again. And it's just they have just built their website poorly. It wouldn't be that hard to just take a regular picture of the item, but for whatever reason, maybe they've got so much product they move through, all they do is type in a description to move on. And so it's the busyness and the poor quality of their website that can make you jump into finding a gem or a horrible, horrible place to buy from. So you got one or two, and if you can get away with me buying just a few items from them to kind of test the water, so to speak, you may find on a gem that other people are worried about jumping into. But like I said, it needs to probably feel a little bit like disposable cash.
Right.
Because you may end up with a total bum deal, and then it ends up in a bundle that you don't really charge a lot for. Like, here's a $5, I need to get this out of my location bundle, or donate don't donate trash. Please don't do that.
Right.
But, maybe there's just not enough margin to sell.
Yeah, I would just kind of echo what Heather said there on that. And thrifting by, I totally understand. I like fully manifested loads, but I'll be on, let's be honest, you pay more.
Yep.
Because they've got more time invested. And if you think on the back end, if you were that liquidator, what is the easiest way to sell that product? Is to do a generic listing that you can just keep fulfilling, right?
Yep.
So, and I think some in their business model have done that, and it's either working well enough to keep them in business, right? Because they're still in business. Could they be making more money by fully manifesting their load or what's in the box?
Giving you more details. Yeah,
they probably could, but
is it worth their time?
Right. How many people would they have to employ to go through that? Bulk.com does a great job on the manifest. They're probably one of the best.
Yep.
Show you a picture and whatnot. If you get a chance to tour their warehouse, they've got a lot of tech savviness into that. They're scanning barcodes. It's popping up. They've got, a computerized system that's making their list for them. And then some lady on the other end of a conveyor is only putting this item in this box, And so they've got a good system, but they employ a lot of people.
They do.
We've seen other company, when we went out to California via trading, we saw them sell a truckload that was coming from Target to their facility, and a buyer called and said, I need a truckload. And they said, well, I've got one coming. They sold that truckload even before it got to their warehouse. There's no way they knew what was in that, but hey, people wanted it. And they had built a rapport with that liquidation company, and they were like, okay, I think I kind of know what I'm getting when I buy from them. Mm-hmm. So I've been burnt before, but I've also been pleasantly surprised by liquidation companies when it just says 100 bathing suits. And you're like, okay, look at the cost. What's the cost? And yes, there's a bit of a gamble, but think it through, and you'll make a good decision there.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jackpot Liquidation says, thrifting, those people pee in my Cheerios? What? I've never heard that before. Please don't pee in anyone's Cheerios.
It's not right. It's not right.
I don't bid. Let's see, what was it? I don't bid if I can't get a really good idea of what's in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Williams says, absolutely agree. Auctions and retail arbitrage are more fun, but very difficult to sustain consistently. Yeah. That's why I guess we've kind of gone away from that.
We still do it sometimes. Sometimes.
I would love
Christmas.
to go thrifting, but
yeah.
I don't have time to go thrifting anymore. Let's see. Jackpot Liquidation says, this is true, Heather. I bought a pallet one time, and they said electronics, and we ended up with 11 MacBook Pros. Yeah. Jackpot Liquidation, they were older, but worth the investment in the end. Thrifting by says, my name is Rich. I love you guys.
Awesome.
Good to meet you, Rich. Casey Sunshine says, I used to enjoy the Karz recycling pallets. Are you planning on buying those in the future? We definitely may do that. There are local people here. Honestly, what happens to us is, if I can find some good buys, I'll fill our little small space.
We just keep going back to the same person because we're getting a good deal.
We're just selling it so well, and it's making good money.
Did you guys enjoy seeing a Bulk.com box?
Yeah.
We haven't done one in forever. Well,
that's been sitting on a pallet back over here for
a few months.
Oh, more than that. That might have been beginning of COVID.
Listen,
it's been about a year now.
That's just called I'm disorganized.
We knew it was there. It was just other stuff kept coming in.
We just kept finding better deals, and oh my goodness, the 8 at 8 lots pallets take forever. We still have an 8 at 8 lots pallet.
Yep.
We just are
I was looking last night at buying some bulk pallets, and it reminded me the difference of buying from liquidation companies. Bulk, I'm going to have to buy multiple pallets just to get the price down. For shipping and whatnot. But, one pallet had 43 items in it. And I just started laughing because the last pallet we opened from 8 at 8 lots had
1,000,
2,000 or 3,000 pieces, and it's just hours and hours of going through it. And
that's why we finally started to have to break up the pallets into multiple videos, because if I would open one 888 lots pallet in a day,
it would have been a 5-hour video.
It would have been a 5-hour video.
And I don't know where we would have put all the stuff.
And then when it came to pricing it, like, I literally would have never gone home. I would have just moved in and lived here.
Yeah. Now, like, you know, we want to show you on the YouTube channel how we're doing things. But, you know, we've thought before, if we had a bigger space, and we've looked at a couple now, if you just had one or two employees that all they were doing is just unbox it, put it on the site, unbox it, put it on the site, Amazon, eBay, or hooked on Pickin, and just keep going through it. You could motor through those pallets, and I'm sure there's a better system to do that, but we also want to have a life.
We do.
I think we want to have a life.
Yeah, that's why we took yesterday off for a snow day.
Yeah.
We went sledding.
Okay, let's see.
And I fed pizza to people.
Let's see. I think is it Wakaz Beg? Says, which software would you say is best for Amazon wholesale for a beginner?
Amazon wholesale.
What's the group that you're trying to connect with there?
Oh, the one that's going right now where they're doing a live?
Yeah.
Oh, why am I having a blank? The wholesale formula.
Wholesale formula?
Yeah.
Heather's been in talks with them trying to learn their system. And it seems like they've got something figured out, because I like their idea, because it is they try to encourage you to contact the manufacturer of the product and try to get some level of exclusive rights to sell it on Amazon.
Yeah.
So to me, that makes sense.
That's the next step in evolution, right, basically, of reselling.
So anyway, but I think that could be good. Let's see here. Jackpot Liquidation says, I will tell you those pallets that they take those pictures from so far away, or it is wrapped in blue wrap. It's hard to see. I blow those images up in 3D paint and bam, buy it. Thrifting By says, thank you. Thrifting By says, I've been watching your videos for 2 years now, and I've learned a lot from you guys.
Good.
Are you still buying from bulk? I just started looking at buying from bulk. I believe their prices have gone higher.
They've gone up, but if you can get the shipping right, like he said, if you can buy multiple pallets and you have the space to put multiple pallets, so if you got a 2-car garage, you can buy 4 or 5 pallets and throw them in one side of the garage and then process them in the other. So it's an option. The only reason we haven't bought from bulk is simply because it's literally taken us from the beginning of, the middle of 2020.
This is our second load, though.
Yeah. And so that's part of the reason is we just haven't had the space to put new pallets in, because those take such a long time to process. And so we've been staying busy making sure that we sell everything that's in our space, and then still looking for new product to put on the store, because we definitely want to make the Hooked on Pickin website something appealing to go to, and hopefully you guys have been there recently. We've been putting some new stuff on there. The other reason why we wanted to do this video about wholesaling is we did want to, since Paul does a lot of the wholesaling buying and I'm aware of all the wholesaling buying and the steps that he has to take, we do want to also offer consultation phone calls. I love to teach other people what to do. That's probably, like, if I could pick anything to do in the world, I would love to just know the process and teach all day long on how to do this, rather than actually selling the items myself. But I have to sell the item myself to make sure that I still make a good living, and also so that I keep some skin in the game and I know how to do what I'm doing and give good advice on what I'm doing. And so if you are interested in learning more about the wholesale network, I would be glad to do a consultation phone call with you. I always say have a list of questions ready, because I basically let you guide the conversation so that you learn what you need to know. If you don't know where to go from that, you can start with 1 or 2 questions and then I can guide you from there. But yeah, I love to offer consultation phone calls. Yeah. They're on Hooked on Pickin. You can pick 30, 60, 90 minutes. You can even do a web version one where we do some video chatting and I can do some screen sharing, things like that. So it's just a couple of options, for you guys if you want to kind of fast track learn. I know these Thursday chats are always super helpful, but do we have some other questions about wholesaling?
Yeah, let's see here. I'm trying to look through here.
Okay.
Let's see. Ashley says, yes, we enjoy the videos. Thrifting By, thanks. You just answered the question. Laugh out loud. Jackpot says, listen, listing those damaged box pallets are amazing. I think it's incredible what you guys have pulled out of there. And yes, it may take 5 parts, but I watched them all. Kristen Jones says, we love that you guys keep it real, good and bad. Thrifting By says, I have a 480 square foot office space that is my security guard training school. I'm thinking about turning it into a small resale store a couple days a week. Yeah, it's probably possible. I don't know what it would look like. It'd be small. Then you think about your shelving. That's another thing I've thought about too, because we had a little kind of a strip mall here in our town that there's a space, but it's about 600 square feet. And as soon as I looked at that, I went, okay, if I put shelves in here, that's going to eat into that real quick. We learned that building this.
Yes.
This is what, 720?
Yeah.
So once you start putting shelves and everything, your space starts getting eaten up pretty quickly.
You almost need to just get it like a grid thing, or work with a contractor or something like that. And how would you best arrange it so that you can get the most bang for your buck as far as space?
But if you're in a bigger area, a high traffic area, that could be good too. Because you think about like malls and airport, you know how they'll have that little kiosk. They're not big, they're not huge, but their foot traffic's just amazing, right? So they can put their 200 items on their cart or whatever, and they may make a good living. I'd be really curious.
Well, and the other thing too is every time you sell something online, if you're selling a $5 item online, you have to list it. You have to update the listing. You have to make sure your inventory is still in stock, and then you have to ship it. And if you had a brick and mortar store, it's a lot easier to just set on a shelf. You're not doing the listing, you're not doing the shipping. So you take those two aspects out of it and flip it a lot quicker. But you also have the overhead of the space, you know. So is it a space that you already own, that you're already paying money on? Like this individual already has the space.
Right.
But, you know, so a lot of those smaller items, you may be able to, instead of start charging $10 for it, you can charge $5 for it, because your time invested is a lot less, and you can get it gone and move it faster, so you can move on to the next thing that you may make $20 on instead of $5.
We were going to try something that would have been fun to do. We have done yard sales before, and our last yard sale, we sold hundreds of dollars of stuff, just little things they're just not worth a whole lot to sell.
Time-wise, we didn't want to list them online because we just didn't.
Oh, we didn't do it because of COVID this summer. Although they started doing some yard sales around us, but it's still kind of a weird time, you know. Mm-hmm. But I think probably this summer we'll do it again. But 2 years ago when we had our yard sales, we had people that we were going to do it Friday and Saturday. They came back like 4 to 5 times. You know, it's like they came, they spent their $25, and they're like, oh my word, there's more stuff. And then they'd leave and they'd come back.
We kept filling the blank spaces
right,
too.
We started doing that too. So So anyway, it was fun. So
I love doing yard sales. It's my favorite. Like if I could do flea markets, if I had the time for flea markets, I would totally do a flea market.
We would need a more local. We have one in Belleville.
It's pretty far away, yeah.
It's a good haul. Plus it's bring all your stuff there. Nice for them to come here.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see here. Hold on here. Let's see. Thrifting By says, I have the same concept as you guys with the website. I'm just starting out. I had a plan before I started. If you are new with no experiences, I highly recommend Hooked on Pickin courses. Very good. Kristen Jones says, hit that thumbs up.
Yeah, how many thumbs up do we have?
I don't know because of what thing I'm in. See?
Yeah.
So if you enjoy the content, you like to buy Heather a coffee, feel free.
We're at 32 thumbs up.
You can hit that, what do they call that? Super chat?
Super chat.
The money.
We're at 32 thumbs up. It's over there.
32 thumbs up. Look at that. Okay, let's see. Jackpot says, thrifting you might want to check out if your state is doing COVID small business grants. Ooh, that's a good idea.
That is good.
I signed up for a few here in my state, and it's amazingly helpful. Thrifting By says, I have a Home Depot close by that sells shelves, and I am all set with that. The school pays for the rent. Ooh. Everything from the store will be profit. That's not a bad idea. You might want to think about if you have students coming in for your, security guard classes. You know, think about what do security guards need, and then you could, sell a kit, sell different items, give them a selection. That might, if you already know they're coming in.
Yep.
Tina Welsh says, I've thought about using your idea somewhat about having an online sale in the future and wanted to know how I could accept payment from anyone that is not local. Getting a delivery?
Yeah, I'm getting a delivery.
Let's see. I'll read that again. I have thought about using your idea somewhat about having an online sale in the future and wanted to know how I could accept payment for anyone that is not local. I don't have an online store.
Okay, payment. So payment, I mean, I accept payment through my own website. The Square is a good option because they do have an online option where they can call in, give you their number. You punch it in and it's secure. You don't write down the number anywhere, but some people might not be comfortable with that. PayPal is always a good option to accept payment because you can send invoices through PayPal, but you do pay PayPal fees. It's about 10%. So if somebody pays for something that is $10 plus shipping, they're going to take 10% of that money. So those are a couple of different options that you can utilize for payment. But I've heard really good things about the Square. You've got Venmo that a lot of people use as well.
I think there's several that they're giving on here.
Yeah, so.
Look at the comments and you'll see several there. Let's see. Tina says, also, when you set up your online store, how did you set up all the different methods of payment you accept?
Well, I utilize the Shopify platform to set up my store, and so they give you different options that you can click on for shipping and payment. Yeah. So, yeah, their website is pretty user-friendly.
Let's see. Midwest Mama's Adventure says, if I get a reseller's license, how can I pay taxes at the end of the year? State of Illinois, we didn't get to pick. IRS tells you when you will pay.
Yeah, and it's based up, basically, I did quarterly because I was a brand new reseller's license person, and then when they saw how much I actually submitted as far as taxes that I ended up paying for the year, they switched it to annual because I'm not a Walmart, I'm not a Costco, I'm not a huge Staples or something like that, so I'm not doing, thousands or even millions of dollars every month. Like, I'm paying taxes on, maybe per year $20,000 in sales in this state, and then so many $1,000s in other states, and so based on that they adjusted it to annual. Yeah, so it's based on how much you actually sell.
Alyssa Davidson says, y'all are great on information and great deals, great role models.
Thanks.
Thank you. Jackpot says, Midwest, you can put them tried to penalize you, but they want to do correlate. Yeah, I think it auto-corrects on you. Knerf K says, do you still use PayPal?
I have a PayPal account, but I do not use it for my business anymore because they put restrictions on what I was allowed to have on my store.
Right.
And if I had those items on my store, I wouldn't. Basically, they would shut down my store, and so.
Well, they would shut down the payment, and PayPal, they hold your money. And we kind of went over that I guess a couple months ago. Basically, PayPal came out with a new policy saying that you can't sell knives unless they're kitchen knives. But then even the kitchen knives, if you had a keyword that was wrong, they would freeze your account. So if you're doing $1,000 worth of sales on your store, all of a sudden you go to get your PayPal money and they say, nope, you can't get it.
And at the time that they had froze our PayPal account, we actually had $3,000 sitting in our PayPal fund. And so we had no access to that $3,000 until we basically removed multiple things off the store. Basically said, okay, our store adheres to your guidelines. They unfroze all the money. We pretty much drained the PayPal account and then no longer utilizes PayPal as a payment option on our store. So because we just simply use the Shopify secure credit card checkout, we don't have those restrictions anymore.
You know how you have the terms of licenses and agreement? It's a little box that you have to check when you do various different things online. Most people check it without reading the terms and agreements. They changed theirs, they said, in March of 2020, about the time of the pandemic hit. And if we would have read the terms and agreements, we would have found here's a long category list where PayPal will not do that. It's kind of a strange cultural movement within the nation right now of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And you would think, why does PayPal care? You're just an access to exchange money. But and they're not responsible for that, but for whatever reason, they kind of delve into that culture thing. eBay had really a big struggle because think about eBay. Shoot, you can buy quite a bit on eBay.
Yeah, and I think that's what eBay went through is they didn't want to have to restrict their customers, because if eBay allowed PayPal to continue, then eBay would have had to say, now you cannot sell, and then they'd have a big laundry list, and then even some of those things might have fallen under the oops category. Like we had an item that was not a knife, was not a weapon of any form, is a pair of headphones, and they still said that was an issue, but there were no keywords that I had in the listing that even said anything about it. For whatever reason, it got flagged, and so and the bummer was this happened basically right at Christmas time. So we had to remove about a third of the items off of our store right when the biggest selling season had happened, just to get our money reinstated from PayPal.
They said that our money would have been unfroze in
6 months.
In basically 6 months, then they would cut us a check or they would deposit into our account. So, but
they weren't going to keep it indefinitely, so they said. But to us, we needed the funds to be able to purchase more product and to run our business. And so, $3,000 to us is a big deal. I mean, that's a good chunk of change. So, so that's why we don't offer PayPal. You can still send invoices through PayPal. I sent a payment through PayPal the other day to one of my wholesalers, and basically I just now. The account always stays at 0, and it just pulls from a bank account that I have attached to it. So you can still utilize it.
It may not be a big deal for what you're selling on your website, whatever platform you go through. It became a big deal for us because of some of the items that we were selling. So. And
I think ours too was a combination of utilizing the website platform with PayPal. Rather than just like if you're just doing a one-time deal and somebody lives in 3 states away and they want to pay so you can ship it, you could probably just shoot them an invoice. They pay it through PayPal. You take the money out as soon as it shows up, and no issue there.
Correct. Let's see. Jackpot says PayPal is getting ridiculous anymore. Sunshine Badge Moore says, okay, thanks for the reminder. I have to switch to eBay Manage Payments. Laugh out loud. Deborah says, I use the Square. It's so easy. Sunshine says, you are on in the background, so much administrative work to do. Jackpot says, I prefer Square, Venmo, and my sister uses Zelle. They don't seem to care what I sell. We sold a set of kitchen knives, and they've, I guess PayPal froze us for 2 weeks. Yeah, that's
pretty much what happened to us too.
Yeah. PayPal was we had to call 3 different times. We got 3 different answers. They're not consistent. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, we finally just kept the person on the phone.
Yeah.
While we made the changes on the website, while they were still on the phone.
They were incredibly annoyed through that entire process, but I guess they couldn't get off the phone. It's one of their regulations, I guess.
Well, they record it and stuff.
Record it.
So I was like, okay, I'm sitting in front of the computer. What do I need to remove?
Yep. Boom, removed. Now what? Boom, removed. Now what? Boom, removed. And it was utterly ridiculous. It did harm our business, like she said. And if you don't sense frustration in my voice and Heather's, then...
But we're past that, and everything's all good.
We're not bitter. All right, let's see.
And like I said, I still utilize PayPal to do some transactions.
Sure. Tina says, does Shopify help you with designing and setting up your store? And
yes.
Do you mind sharing what the fees they charge to have a store through them?
Okay, so we pay a monthly fee of $40 a month. And then I tacked on an extra $5 a month because instead of it saying hooked on Pickin /Shopify.com or whatever, I just wanted it to be hookedonpickin.com. So I own the hookedonpickin.com domain name now. And so that was an additional $5 a month so that it doesn't look like a weird address. Sure. So yes, they have a bunch of different formats you can choose from to teach you to build it. They have a multitude of how-to videos when you first start setting it up that basically say pick your template, pick your color scheme, pick your background. Here's how to do everything on the back end as far as like inputting a new product. They have 24-hour online chat service to help walk you through anything you run into, which is nice for me because I do a lot of my videoing and actual selling and stuff during the day, but whenever I make adjustments or make new listings on the store, a lot of times I do that at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night or 3 a.m. when I'm awake, and so it's nice to have that 24-hour service. They're not locked into a 9 to 5 and you can't ever get a hold of somebody. So I love their customer service. That's why I endorse them. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, let's see here. I think we're just about going to wrap up here.
Okay. Thanks for the thumbs up. I think we're at 46 now. Awesome.
Yeah. Knerf K says, as a buyer, I did not understand, but thanks for explaining. Sunshine says, sweet, just sold a hat. Good job.
Awesome.
Thrifting By says, I like selling clothing. It does not appear to be selling well right now due to pandemic.
Nobody's going anywhere.
Yeah. It depends on what you're selling.
We have found our dress shirts and dress pants don't move as quickly.
Dresses. Formal dresses. There's nowhere to go to wear a formal dress.
I think if you had stock in sweatpants.
Oh yeah.
I think you'd probably be making bank.
Yeah. Let's see.
That actually reminds me of something. So this is totally off topic, random.
Then should you say it? Okay, moving on. Let's see. Thrifting By Jackpot Liquidator says, the lady at PayPal called my sister a name because we wouldn't let them get off the phone either. Yeah, I know. We had to feel like jerks too, but you're like, look, we need to resolve this.
It's our livelihood.
You're still getting a paycheck. We aren't from you right now, so come on, fix this problem. Let's roll on. So, let's see here. Thrifting By says, wow, you should have went with WooCommerce Store, much cheaper and easier. Okay. Hey, if you find something that works for you, you go for it.
Go for it, yeah.
Jackpot says, awesome, Sunshine. The Benefactor says, yeah, eBay managed payments is great. They don't rob you like PayPal. Yep. Tammy says, hello.
Hello, Tammy.
Sunshine says, I am so busy between full-time teaching and part-time eBay. It is impossible to find times. Laugh out loud. Jackpot says, Sunshine, you need to meditate at night before bed.
I think Sunshine does pretty good. I mean, every time she gets online, she's always multitasking. Yeah. Always.
All right. Well, listen, if there's other questions you have about wholesale, encourage you. Heather does a great job with consultations. And call her, set one up. And I guess you can buy one right through hookedonpickin.com.
Yeah, you just go to
and we'll try to fill in the blanks for you as much as we can. Currently, right now, we are purchasing from 6 different wholesalers, and so a lot of the things that you find on Hooked on Pickin are from that. It helps us kind of keep a little bit of a revenue stream coming.
Pays the bills.
If the liquidation turns out to kind of be a flop, if that box open, you're like, it wasn't the greatest. The liquidation or the wholesale seems to help us quite a bit. So
yeah,
that's good.
Yep. All right. Well, hopefully this video was super helpful. We will see you tomorrow on the fire sale at noon Central Standard Time, which is about tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow. We have a bunch of fun things that are already for sale. If you are a patron, you will see that sneak peek video up late this evening, probably around the 10 o'clock time frame. So I usually send you a message in patron. If you are not a patron, go ahead and check it out. Click the support my channel link down below and you can become one. You get various different perks for becoming one of my patrons. Also, thank you so much for all the chat and the Q&A. This is definitely always helpful for people who watch the video after the fact as well. Just hearing these questions and having all these questions and answers discussed during this whole thing. And you guys are amazing. You guys have lots of knowledge to share, and thanks for sharing it with us. And we hope you had a great time on today's live stream, and we will see you tomorrow. And of course, remember, in the end, Jesus wins.